They say humanity rules the earth, but there was a time when we almost didn't make it. Not just war, not famine, not disease, something worse, something bigger than anything we've ever faced. Something that didn't care who we were, rich or poor, strong or weak. A moment in time when nature nearly whispered, "Your time is over." And we were only 1,000 people away from disappearing forever. Yes, you heard that right. Every face you know, every language, every culture came from a tiny group of survivors clinging to life while the rest of the world burned, choked, and died. But what happened? Why haven't you heard this before? And what does it mean for you right now? Let me tell you something almost no school teaches. Let me take you back 70,000 years ago. The Earth didn't look the way it does today. The continents were familiar, but the world was wild, untamed. Mammoths roamed the frozen north, saber-toothed predators stalked the grasslands, and our ancestors, we were just another species trying to survive. Primitive tools, small families, huddled fires, but we had something different. We had each other. We had language, emotion, connection. We were just beginning to dream, to paint caves, to wonder, to love. Then it happened. It didn't come with warning. There were no scientists, no weather forecasts, just a sky that began to change. First, a rumble beneath the feet. Then the earth split open in the heart of what we now call Indonesia, Mount Toba, one of the largest volcanic eruptions in the history of Earth. Not just an explosion, an annihilation. More than 2,800 cubic kilometers of ash blasted into the sky. To put that in perspective, that's enough to bury entire continents under meters of ash. The sun disappeared for months, maybe even years. A volcanic winter followed. Temperatures dropped worldwide, crops failed, animals died, water sources turned acidic, rain burned the skin, and our people, the early Homo sapiens, were caught in the middle. Most didn't survive. Tribes disappeared without a trace. Regions were wiped out completely. And the numbers tell the truth that history books rarely mention. Our global population dropped from tens of thousands to just around 1,000 humans left alive. Think about that. You could fit the survivors into a high school auditorium. That's it. The entire future of mankind compressed into a desperate group of survivors scattered across the globe. Some huddled in Africa, others hid in caves near water. They weren't warriors, they weren't kings, they were mothers, children, people just trying to eat, people who somehow didn't give up. Can you imagine it? The skies, black, for months, ash falling like snow, no crops, no firewood, no idea if anyone else is still alive. You can't call for help. There's no government, no police, just you and your family. And the silence, the long, terrifying silence of a dying world. And in that silence, your baby cries, but you have no food. Your child says, "I'm scared," but you have no answer. You want to believe there's a future, but you don't even know if there's a tomorrow. This is what our ancestors faced. Yet somehow, they fought on, they foraged, they fished, they moved constantly to find warmth and water. They bundled in animal skins. They whispered stories to their children around fires, stories that might have been the last ones ever told. One of them might have been your great-great-great-grandmother, 10,000 generations ago. She might have lost everything. She might have buried her sister. She might have walked barefoot across ash-covered land with a child strapped to her back. And every night, she might have looked at the sky and wondered if the sun would ever return. She didn't know science. She didn't know the volcano. But she knew one thing: keep going. Now pause. Look at your hands, your face, your breath. You are her miracle. You are his dream. That child, that man, that tribe member who refused to die. You didn't come from ease. You came from resilience. You came from ashes. So when you say, "I can't handle this," when life breaks you down, remember this. Your DNA is built from the bones of survivors. You are not weak. You are not soft. You are the bloodline of the 1,000 who refused to vanish. Scientists call it a genetic bottleneck. It means all humans today, every skin tone, every eye color, every voice, trace back to a small pool of ancestors who survived that catastrophe. So the stranger on the street, they're your distant cousin. The woman across the world, she's your blood. We are one family, forged not by comfort, but by fire. And if you're hearing this today, it means your story didn't end back then. It means your ancestors made it. They faced death and gave you life. We often think our world is falling apart. Wars, pandemics, climate change. And yes, things are hard. But remember, we've been to the edge before and we didn't fall. In fact, we rose from 1,000 to 8 billion. We discovered fire, we crossed oceans, we walked on the moon, we mapped the genome, we fell in love, we built, we healed, we became more than we ever dreamed. Because we remembered. Even if we didn't know the story, our bones remembered. But here's the twist you didn't expect. The ones who survived, they weren't the strongest. They weren't the smartest. They were the ones who loved the most, who stuck together, who chose to carry each other. Because in the face of extinction, weapons don't save you. Compassion does. Connection does. And that's the message you need today. We live in a world full of noise, likes, followers, comparisons, pressure. But deep down, your soul doesn't care about fame. It longs for something older, belonging. That same feeling our ancestors shared as they huddled for warmth, waiting for the sun to rise again. And when it did, when that first golden light cracked through the smoke, they didn't just survive, they celebrated, they held each other, they sang, and in that moment, humanity was reborn. But wait, there's one question left. How close are we to this happening again? Because if it happened once, if nature brought us to our knees 70,000 years ago, what makes us believe it can't happen now? We build cities, we fly planes, we carry supercomputers in our pockets, but none of that, not a single skyscraper or satellite can stop a mountain from exploding, or a fault line from splitting, or a virus from spreading, or the planet from changing. The truth is, we're still fragile. Volcanoes like Toba still exist, and some are overdue. Yellowstone, Campi Flegrei, names you might have never heard, but names scientists whisper with quiet urgency. These aren't just local disasters, they're potential extinction-level events. You'd never see it coming. One morning, you'd wake up and the sky would be darker than it should be. Birds stop singing, air smells like fire, planes grounded, supply chains broken, no sun, just ash falling like snow. And then the cold begins. Do you think your phone battery could save you then? We forget, we get comfortable. We think we're invincible. But we're not. The only thing keeping us alive, the only reason we exist, is because a small group of humans didn't give up when the world gave them every reason to. That's not history, that's a warning, and also a blueprint. Because maybe, just maybe, the lesson isn't fear the end. The lesson is honor the beginning. Let me take you back again. After the Toba disaster, the survivors didn't rebuild cities. They didn't become kings. They became watchers. Careful, silent, attentive to the land. They hunted with precision. They carved tools from bones. They created stories about fire, gods, monsters in the sky. Not to scare, but to remember, because memory is survival. Every tale told around those ancient fires was a map for the future. And now here you are with a phone in your hand, a roof over your head, food in your fridge. You are the dream they never lived to see. But ask yourself, are you living it? We survived. But did we forget what we survived for? When you argue online, when you chase meaningless things, when you numb your pain with noise, are you honoring the bloodline of survivors who walked through ash and death just to give you this moment? Or are you wasting it? We were given a second chance, one no other species on Earth got, and what we do with it is the next chapter of the story. Do you want to know the saddest part? Most people will never know this story. They'll never feel the fire in their chest when they realize they are the result of 70,000 years of endurance. They'll die without knowing they carry the strength of the final 1,000. But you do. You know now. And you can't unknow it. So next time life breaks you down, when it feels too heavy, when no one's cheering for you, you hold your head up because the people who made you didn't get applause either. They survived in silence. And now, you walk into the world differently now. You don't complain about the little things. You don't give up when it gets hard. You don't scroll for escape. You show up. Because in your blood is a memory, a whisper, a fire that says, you are not allowed to quit. We didn't go extinct for you to stop here. So here's what I ask of you. Next time you see someone suffering, help them. Not because you're a hero, but because someone helped your ancestors once. Next time you doubt yourself, remember, you are the living answer to a 70,000-year-old prayer. They wished to survive. You are the survival. And next time you look at the stars, think of that mother in a cave holding her child, telling stories under the same sky. We are here because of her. We are here because of them. And now it's our turn to make it worth it. The time only 1,000 humans were left alive wasn't the end. It was the beginning of everything, of language, of culture, of families, of nations, of you. So when you feel lost, when you feel like nothing matters, look at the mirror and remind yourself, I am the future they dreamed of. I am the reason they didn't give up. I am their hope, still breathing. We didn't survive a supervolcano just to become bitter. We didn't walk out of extinction to live small. We didn't come from 1,000 to billions just to forget who we are. You are not ordinary. You are not weak. You are not unlucky. You are a walking miracle. Now go live like one. And never forget, the fire that tried to end us only made us stronger.